Hola, buenos días. Soy Nico.
Him and he set her up. And I know they set my bitch up. I know they set my bitch up. I know they fucking did.
And today we're here to start off another wonderful week's worth of content. Well, yes. But before you get started, if you like this kind of content, make sure to follow me on Patreon at patreon.com/Nicosaesthetics for 200 plus exclusive videos, weekly live streams with a varied panel discussing My light rig just fell. Where we discuss various topics with a varied panel depending on the week. If that sounds interesting to you, definitely tune in. And last video's comment was basically talking about why white tops don't want me as a darker skinned black bottom. And the comment so eloquently put it, y'all want anything from a stove? It'd be funny because somebody comments that whenever it's something just blatantly ridiculous, and it always gets the most likes. But now that we've gotten out of the way, let's get on to the actual conversation. Today, we're going to be talking about something fairly serious. Today, we're going to be discussing someone I've talked about once before. I remember I discussed I Am Zoe, I'm just going to call him Zoe, before because he came out a few years ago with a video basically saying that he doesn't want a gay man. He's attracted to masculine men. Masculine men. But the masculine men have to be straight. Nico, what do you mean? He can't accept no masculine punk. He needs a straight heterosexual man, but he can't be with a straight heterosexual man that has messed around with a man before because that makes him a punk. So he needs a heterosexual man that has never thought about being with a man, but he runs into him and he's so overcome with love for Zoe that they get together and they live happily ever after. I already discussed that. I already went into detail about how I feel about that rhetoric. Ridiculous, but he is currently getting backlash for Resurfaced videos from when he used to do live streams. Nico, who is I Am Zoe? I personally did not watch his content growing up, but I recognize his face from like the reactions of people laughing or, turned into GIFs. So to my knowledge, he was a live streamer, especially in the big age of like Omegle, where you would go online and do random video chats with a random person. But video chats from that era have resurfaced once again, where he was caught not only flirting and getting explicitly inappropriate with teenagers, but always clarifying their age first before he leaned into the more super happy adult fun time energy-based conversations. Nico, what do you mean? I'm going to play a few of the clips. Be warned, it is outrageous what he's asking from 15-year-olds, from 16-year-olds. All of these are minors. It's all established to be minors. And he specifically asked them himself if they were minors before he leaned into this.
How old are you? 15. What the hell? Your lips was pretty though. You what? Bite your lip. You a freak. How tall are you, little Puerto Rican or Mexican? What are you, Mexican or Puerto Rican? Oh, you got boxer. Oh. Child, you about a good 7.5. Boy, why you trying to tease us right now? Why you showing all that stuff like that? Why you showing your body? Why you being a nasty boy?
Well, see...
these girls will be all in your DM trying to holler at you because you just teased them. You 16, so yeah, a 7 is probably big to you at 16. Please don't be that boy who act like it's all that. Trust me, I know. How old are you, boy?
I'm 16.
Oh, never mind. Too young.
Yeah.
Go to your room and get a pair of your boxers and hold them up like this.
Wow.
Boy, do it! Before I beat.
As you saw in that video, very disturbing. So you would think somebody with a large platform like I Am Zoe would come out and say, I'm sorry for that. I apologize for acting that way. It was completely inappropriate. But now that people are starting to speculate his relationship with minors, he decided to come online and make a video basically saying he's going to let it sit. Nico, what do you mean? He's going to let the conversation happen, because if he came out and clarified what happened and explained that everything you see is not what it is, then people would just be like, oh, Zoe, I'm so sorry. I can't believe. So rather than deal with the hassle of people saying, I'm sorry for getting the situation wrong, he's just not going to clarify nothing. He's just going to let it sit.
Sometimes I be wanting to speak on stuff and prove stuff, but then when you prove stuff on how stuff was made to look a certain way, then people gonna be like, oh, well, my bad, though. You just let stuff sit. You 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 let stuff sit. Girl, you let stuff sit. Ooh. I'm just glad I know how to just let stuff sit, girl. Just let stuff sit. Sometimes you have to go back and rewatch stuff too. Just rewatch stuff and look and see was certain stuff just.
And I'm just like, how do you, especially something like this, how do you let this sit like this? Especially because you knew the boys' ages. You asked them in particular before you started getting weird with the dialogue. So to say, oh, I'm not going to address it, I'm just going to let it sit, because if I address it, then y'all going to want to say I'm sorry. That makes no type of sense. No type of sense. Because at the end of his statement, where he basically said, go rewatch the videos and you'll see, it's not what they're saying. It's not what they're saying. Girl, I watched that video again after he said that. I'm like, no, still wildly inappropriate. And that's something I always have to tell people, especially within our community, because a lot of people in our community, for example, they say, I have never been on a date, or I've had my first date when I was 30, and my adult years is when I began dating. But they don't say that that's when they begin to have super happy adult fun time. Nico, why do you say that? Because as low as it's kept, a lot of the people within our community have had super happy adult fun time for the first time in their life with somebody in their 30s to 40s while they are 15 to 16. In the heterosexual community, this would be looked at as weird. This would be looked at as a problem, because it is. Nico, teenagers are children. Nico did no, I don't mean like infants, but teenagers are children. If you meet a 15-year-old, you know it's a 15-year-old just by the way they look and carry themselves. So the fact that so many of us in our community, let's say at 16, at 18, at 17, had these first impactful, intimate moments with somebody who was far older and knew the power they had in that dynamic, it's not right. And I honestly hope that this situation of airing out I Am Zoe and actively showing the videos of him doing it will actively cause a conversation to come forward about how we need to protect the younger gays, the younger bis, the younger trans, the younger dolls. We need to protect our youth and actively start trying to mentor them. Because I've talked about it before in the OnlyFans versus Sugar Daddy video, where I was talking about how a lot of older gay men, for example, will mentor younger gay men, but some of them use this as a way to leverage their financial assistance for super happy adult fun time in return. So honestly, I wish there were more people that would be upstanding members of our community and help the youth. The most I can do as a YouTuber is come online and tell you what you should accept and what you shouldn't accept on a base respect level. Things that are inappropriate, you should not hold them in. If someone talks to you like this, if a grown man talks to you like this, you should reach out to an adult. None of this was acceptable. None of this was like because it can't even be misconstrued or misunderstood. He specifically asked what their age before he leaned into heavily flirting with them. But now that you've seen the video, now that you heard my piece, I would like to hear your opinions down below. How do you feel about so many of us in our community losing our first super happy adult fun time intimate moment to somebody who is 30 years, 20 years older? How do you feel about it being normalized, especially in our community, for young boys to be on apps such as Grindr and Jacked? And then in the case of Grayling Purnell, oh yeah, I might have slept with him, but he agreed to be 18 when he logged on to the app. Because a lot of people try to find loopholes like, oh, well, you might be 15, but you're on the app, so you're agreeing to say that you're 18, so whatever happens, happens. Girl, even when I was on apps, because I'm no longer on any apps, Nico. If you see me on Tinder, Hinge, Grindr, Jack, that's not me. I'm not in the mindset for apps. But that does not mean that they are free reign, especially because I've seen it before. Like when I was on apps, I would see people that were far too young. And I remember specifically I messaged somebody because I remember I was like 22 and it was back when I was in Texas. I logged on, I messaged that boy. I was like, you are too young to be on this app. Delete your profile. This is no shade. I'm genuinely trying to look out for you. He said, thank you, I appreciate it. Continue doing his thing. But I feel like we actively need to start reaching out and be like, hey, yo, no, you shouldn't be on this app. Hey, yo, no, you shouldn't be in this space. You should not be talking to grown men like that. You should not be letting grown men talk to you like that as a 15-year-old. But with that being said, I'll wait for your opinions down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Boop. And now for a brief yet sincere shout out to this week's Third Eye Tier subscribers, Savory B and Ernest H. Your continued support is greatly appreciated, and thank you once again to everyone who supports the channel. Hopefully, we might even hit 50K next year. And this week's live stream discussion is going to be another virtual hangout. If that sounds interesting to you, if you have some free time and want to come key with the girls, definitely tune in.